What's good, BitRushers? My name's DeFi Brains and you're watching BitRush Crypto. Today's video, we're going to be covering how to launch an NFT smart contract on Ethereum with Merkle root. I'm going to go through the contract that we have available for free in our Discord chat at discord.gg/ABRAXAS. I'm going to go through all of the functions, how to launch it on the test network, which is the exact same as on the Ethereum network, just cost a whole lot less. And it's going to be a part 1 of 2 series, because in the second video, I'm going to go through and teach you how to actually create a Merkle root from your whitelist addresses and how to verify those individual leafs. If all that sounds good, do stick around. And if you're interested in more content, make sure you tap on that thumbs up button and sub to my channel with bell on to be notified as the videos drop. You can also find links for everything in the description below. And if you'd like, leave me a comment and I may get back to you. However, the easiest way to get at me is obviously on social media or in the Discord chat. And if you'd like to keep up to date with ABRAXAS and all of the most recent content and updates that we have available, the best way to do that, besides joining the Discord server, discord.gg/ABRAXAS, is going to be to follow us over here on Twitter at ABRAXAS_DAO. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is join up the ABRAXAS Discord. Again, it will be linked in the description below. And we have a tab here on the side under NFT creators called NFT resources. Currently, we have all of my videos on NFTs, and I got lots of great content there. Some of that you may need as a continuation to today's video, such as the IPFS storage, which we're not going to cover in today's video. Next, we do have smart contracts. Right now, we only have one. We're working on a couple more, and as I create them, I'll obviously go through and do videos on those as well. And I started a new series on how to create an NFT comic book. We're only 2 videos in as of today's recording. However, if you guys would like, go ahead and check out that playlist, and new videos will be added automatically as they're created. So what we want to do is just come over here to where our smart contract is. This one is called Simple Smart Contract. Once we're here, we can copy and paste all of the contents of the contract. All right, make sure you get all of it, and if it's easier for you, you can just do like a hotkey of select all. That's up to you guys how you want to do it. Personally, I'd like to copy and paste, so there it is. All right, the next thing we're going to do is come on over to remix.ethereum.org. I'll also have this linked in the description below for you guys just to make it nice and easy. And from here, we can create a new file. If you guys see right there, right next to that little drop-down arrow, there's a little file right here. And if you hover over it, we had it for a second there, it says create new file. Let's go ahead and do that, and we can name it whatever we want. This is essentially going to be the name of your contract, so I'm just going to do test contract, and then you have to do .sol at the end so that we know that it is a Solidity contract. And from here, we can paste in that code that we copied earlier. And it should be about 1,523 lines. We're going to scroll up to line 1352. And the name of the contract is right here. It's currently called ABRAXAS Simple. So you guys can name that anything you want. Test contract, whatever. It does have to be one word there. So you guys can do that. Next, we're going to come down a little bit, and on line 1376, we're also going to have the name of the contract and the name of the token. So for today, I'm going to just change this right here to test. I'm going to have my token name just be TT. So this will show up on the network when people are minting, the name of the token, and the name of the project right here. So the project is just going to be test and the token name TT. Again, you guys can name this anything. Generally for your token name here, you want it to be under 5 characters, just to keep it nice and simple. Next, coming up, we're going to have on line 1356 here, the max number of tokens. And we're going to have the max pre-sale limit. So if we wanted 1,000 max tokens and maybe only 500 of them to be, sold during the pre-sale, we could do that. However, if you don't care if you sell out during pre-sale, you can keep it as the same number, which is what I'm going to do right now. You also have the starting amount of tokens sold, which is going to be 0. Definitely keep that the same. Otherwise, you're not going to actually have the right number of tokens when you go to launch. Next, we have a number of reserve tokens. So these are going to be the number of tokens that are reserved for the deployer to use as they wish. We have like a gift function in here. So if you want to gift some or you want some for yourself, so you're going to have 50 tokens to yourself and you don't want them to instantly sell out, you can set that to any number you'd like. And finally, we're going to have the per address limit. So how many can each address have in their wallet or mint? And for us, it's going to be 10. Again, you guys can change that to anything you'd like. And then the final piece here is going to be the public mint price. So we can always change this after we deploy it if you wanted a different amount for the pre-sale whitelist as you did for the public sale, but whatever you put it in the start is what it's going to be for the pre-sale. And so I recommend if you're going to change it, put it what you want as the pre-sale and then change it afterward, because if you launch it and then try to change it and then change it again, you can do that. It's just going to cost a whole lot more gas. And currently we have it set right here at 0.05 ETH, and this is what that looks like here. There's different like online generators and things like that you can look up to like figure out what the amount you would put in for each amount of Ethereum. So if you guys need to do that, just do a quick Google search for like an Ethereum converter. But as of right now, this is 0.05. So if we wanted to change it to say 0.09, we could do that just by changing that 5 to a 9, right? So nice and easy, nice and simple. That's basically everything you guys need to know for this contract to be able to deploy and launch. I'm just going to close this up. And again, we have it right here. It is called testcontract.sol. So once everything is as we want it to be for deployment, what we're going to do next is come over here where you see like this green check mark and the little, kind of looks like a refresh icon. You're going to do that, and we're going to change the number to 8.11. This is the version of Ethereum that we're using in our contracts. You want to make sure you're using at least that or a higher version for this to all work. If you use a lower version, it'll most likely kick back errors. Next, we're going to check enable optimization. This just like compiles it a little bit better, optimizes the code, what have you, and then go ahead and compile the test contract or whatever you've named it. It doesn't look like it's giving us any errors, but if it did, it would show up here right below where my picture is. And from here, we're pretty much good to go. The next thing you're going to need to deploy is some test Ethereum on the Rinkeby network. If you want to do a test, I always recommend testing your contract before you do it live. That way you're not using real Ethereum or wasting real funds. However, the process is going to be the exact same. So make sure you have a Web3 wallet such as MetaMask and go ahead and find a faucet and get some test Rinkeby Ethereum on your wallet. Next thing you want to do is make sure you are on the Rinkeby network. Again, otherwise you're going to deploy on Ethereum mainnet. So come up top here to your MetaMask where it says Ethereum, and you're going to want to choose the Rinkeby network. You may not have all of these here because I have a bunch of extra networks added, so don't worry if you don't see that. If you don't see the Rinkeby and these other test networks, what you can do is go into your settings and just click the tab that says Show Test Networks. So here we go. It looks like I have 2.25 Ethereum on Rinkeby network. Again, this is valueless. It's absolutely worth nothing. You can get it for free using a faucet. And from here, I'm good to go. We're going to click on this next tab below the one with the green check mark right here to deploy. And right now the environment is JavaScript virtual machine. You could also test on the virtual machine if you want, just here, within Remix. However, if you actually want to get it on like a test version of OpenSea and you want to go on to Etherscan and do the test functions and everything like that, it's recommended to just deploy it to the test network. So we're going to do injected Web3. And we're going to see our address show up here. If you have multiple addresses on your wallet, as I do, make sure that that is the correct one. And we can just verify that. 0xb28, 0xb28 looks good. And we're going to come down here and choose the contract we want, right? So again, this was called testcontract.sol. And it was named ABRAXAS Simple. So whatever you guys name this is what you're going to look for. There's a bunch of different things here, but you're going to look for the name of the contract.sol that you named it, and then whatever you named it within the actual contract. From here, it's actually pretty simple and easy. You're just going to click deploy. And this is why we have this simple contract, because it is super simple. You're going to need to verify the transaction on your network. And again, guys, if you're doing this on the mainnet Ethereum, it's going to cost a little bit more and it's going to be real Ethereum value, but it's the exact same process. You just change your wallet over to Ethereum mainnet. There we go. We've deployed, and you can see a little link right here that says view on Etherscan. Let's click that, and it's going to open up that transaction on the testnet Rinkeby Etherscan. Just give it a minute for the transaction to be written to the network, and we'll get a contract address. Boom, success. And now we can see right here, if we scroll down, contract, and it's going to give us our contract address. What we're going to want to do next is just go ahead and click on that. And we can see right here that one transaction that it was deployed. The next thing you want to do is your on by default is the transaction tab. Let's just go ahead and click the contract tab. From here, we do have the option to verify and publish. So if we want to use our contract on the network here and interact with it through Etherscan, we are going to need to verify and publish it. So go ahead and click that. And from here, you're going to see your contract address already filled in. You're also going to want to choose, and we have Solidity single file. We're going to have to choose the compiler version. Remember, that was 8.11. And then we're going to choose the open source license type. And just to keep things simple, we're going to do no license. We're going to agree to the terms and click continue. Next, it's going to have a open space right here where it says enter the Solidity contract code. This is the exact code that we just deployed with. So we're going to come back to Remix, go all the way to the top or bottom. Or again, you can just do like select all. I prefer to just copy and paste it just to make sure I get all of it. But I'm pretty sure you do a select all anyway, so it's just a matter of preference for you guys. Make sure you have all that code copied, copy it, and again, just paste it in. Nice and simple, nice and easy. We're going to come down to the bottom. We're going to check we're not a robot, and it's going to ask you to verify with the captcha. We're going to do boats on this one. Whatever you guys get, just verify that you're not a robot. I'm assuming you guys aren't robots. That would be cool if you were, though. And verify and publish. And the code does have to be the same, so make sure you're copying it out of Remix with all of your changes made and not from the actual file. And it looks like I made a mistake. So this is actually a common mistake. Remember, we turned on optimization and it says optimization enabled false. So that was my fault. So let's go back and do that again. So we're right here. And again, we just have to check this optimization on yes. So easy mistake to make. I'm almost glad that I did make that here, just so you guys can see it in case any of you guys make that same mistake. If you used optimization when you compiled your code, you're going to have to turn optimization on here. And again, you're going to have to verify you're not a robot and verify and publish. And there we go. We were successful because we copied the code exactly. Again, make sure you get it out of Remix. If you made changes to the text file, you want to make sure you get it exactly how you deployed it. And from here, we can go back to our contract just by clicking the contract address. And now we can see all of the information, the contract name, we have optimization, we have the version, and we have all of that code that we use to deploy with. If we come down, we also have all of the other information that's pretty much irrelevant for most users, so just ignore all that stuff. But yeah, you guys are good to go. From here, we can read and write. So all of the read and write functions that are available, we're now able to use if we would like. And that's going to basically be the second half of this video, is me going through and showing you guys all of the different functions, how to use this contract, how to add the Merkle root. And then, like I said, in the second part of the video, I'll do a different piece, which we're going to have to use Visual Studio Code and create the actual Merkle root. I already have that done to make it nice and easy for today's video. So go ahead and stick around if you guys would like to see the remainder of the content. Okay, from this point, you're going to want to connect to the network. Again, just click Connect to Web3, click on MetaMask. You should still be on Rinkeby network, otherwise you'll have to switch that. And if you're doing on Ethereum, obviously you have to be on Ethereum network. We can now interact with the back end of our contract without the need for a dApp or a decentralized application. So the first thing you're probably going to want to do here is to set the base URI of the not revealed or the revealed, either one or both of them. If you guys need help with that, you can go ahead and watch my video on IPFS storage. I'll teach you how to upload all of your images and metadata and how to get that base URI that you can upload here. However, for today's video, we're just going to skip that because we're not actually uploading any NFTs. I did just want to include that in the video to make it clear that that's probably going to be your next step if you're doing this for real on Ethereum mainnet for a real collection. The next thing you're going to need is a Merkle root. And essentially, I'm going to teach you guys again in the second video how to create all of this stuff, but I've done this and I have a nice little text file here. So go ahead and just watch through the rest of the video on the process, and then when I launch that second video, I'll teach you how to create all of this stuff. But you're going to have the Merkle root, which looks something like an Ethereum address, so I'm going to just copy that. And we're going to come down and set root. And we simply paste that address in and go ahead and write, and it's going to do this transaction on the network. Again, you will have to verify every single transaction on your MetaMask wallet. Okay, I was getting an error on the transaction because I connected the wrong wallet, so we want to just click this here. Oop. You want to just click reset, and I'm going to connect and make sure it's the correct wallet I'm looking to connect with. Nope, still the wrong one. Let me reset that. Not sure why it's doing that. Swap to the right address here, guys. So these are the small little technical things that make a big difference. Obviously, if you're not on the address that actually deployed the contract, you're not able to interact with the contract through the admin functions. So just make sure you have all that set up right and you're on the right wallet. Should work this time. Let's see. Okay, so there we go. 0xb28 is the right wallet. And let's go ahead and set that root again. There we go. There shouldn't be an error code. So if you're getting an error code on MetaMask, it tries to save you your gas money by telling you that the transaction is going to fail, something's wrong. So that's how I knew to go back and check and see what was going on, and found out that the address was wrong I was connected with. So everything's good here. We can see it's not going to fail here, and go ahead and confirm that transaction. From here, if we want, we can click view transaction, and we can actually just view the transaction here on Etherscan. This isn't really a big deal. You don't have to view the transaction, but I know a lot of people like to, and just make sure that it's completed. But once that is complete, we're ready for the next step. And again, just a friendly reminder, if you guys are having any sort of trouble with your contract or doing any of these steps, you can always ask for help in the Discord chat, discord.gg/ABRAXAS, also linked in the description below. And there we go, that transaction is complete, so our Merkle root has been set. Essentially what this means is we've whitelisted all of the addresses that we used to create that Merkle root hash. So the next thing we need to do is to flip the contract state to PreSale and whitelist. You can do the PreSale without a whitelist. However, most of the time you guys are going to be doing a PreSale is with the whitelist, so we need to flip both of those to true. So we go here, go ahead and write the whitelist, flip whitelist state. And if we went to the read portion, we would see that it was whitelist false right now. We're setting whitelist to true, so it's just basically like an on-off switch. So if you guys aren't sure what state you're in, if you forget what you've done up to this point or whatever, you can always go to the read contract and read it and figure out what it is in that state. So the next thing we're going to do is after this one completes, and we actually don't have to wait for that one to complete to do the next one, is we're going to just flip on the PreSale state as well. So go ahead and write that and go ahead and confirm. And because it does the transactions in chronological order, it'll confirm the whitelist state first, and then it will do the transaction for the PreSale state. And again, we can view those transactions on the network if we want. I'm not going to bother right now, as I'm going to edit most of this stuff out anyway to kind of keep it short and sweet for you guys, but go ahead and feel free to do that. There we go, successful. So now we're ready to do a test mint. So now that we have PreSale on and whitelist on, we can mint those test tokens. From here, we're going to do the payable amount. It was 0.05 that we set up in the contract, so we're going to enter that amount here, and we're going to just do one token. However, if we wanted to do two tokens, it would be a 2 here and 0.1, obviously 0.05 times 2. So this is where it gets kind of tricky, is that you are going to need the verification for the leaf of each address that you're planning on using for your whitelist. And again, I'm going to show you guys this in a second video, so don't worry about it for right now. Just go ahead and watch the process and understand how it works. So I have all of these for the addresses of whitelisted. My address right here, the 0xb28, is going to be this set of verification hashes. So I'm going to just copy the open bracket to the close bracket, and we're going to paste this in for the proof. The one thing you need to do though is just take out all of the quotations and spaces. So I'm going to just delete out those quotes. You can leave the commas to separate the addresses. So just delete out all of the spaces here, guys, and delete out all of those quotation marks as they're not needed. All that looks good. We're now going to go ahead and write. Oh, I left the quote in. Let's make sure you get all those quotes there, guys. And here we go. Again, we're going to have to confirm this transaction, and it would give us an error code if we didn't do this correctly at this point. So I'm going to just confirm and view that transaction. And there we are. We've been confirmed, and we can see right here from the default null address, we've minted to our address. One test token, TT, and remember that's what we set it up as, the name of the NFT and the name of the token. Very good, that all looks great. Let's go back and do another test. So let's go ahead and try it without the Merkle proof. Let's just do the open bracket and close bracket. And this is essentially an empty proof, and this transaction should fail because this address isn't being proved as a whitelisted address. So let's go ahead and do that. And there you go, you get the red error showing that this transaction will fail. So good, we're going to reject that transaction. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys that that's how it proves that your address is part of the Merkle root. The next thing we can do is just mint one of our reserve tokens. So if we wanted, we could click on any address. I'm going to just copy my address again to keep it nice and simple for you guys. And how many tokens you'd like to mint. This time I'm going to do 2. Remember that we set in the contract that we only have a number of 50 reserve tokens. This is where those 50 reserve tokens are going to come from. So after we do this, we would only have 48 available. Let's go ahead and write that transaction and confirm it on the network. This function is really great if you have like maybe admins or mods that you're paying in NFTs, or if you're running a contest and you want to mint them directly to the wallet of the winner, or anything like that. If you want them for yourself and you don't want to have to go through the dApp or go through your normal process and mint with everyone else, you can mint them directly to your wallet yourself. So there's a lot of different functions for these reserved tokens. Let's go ahead and click on View Transaction, and hopefully that's completed. And there we go. This transaction has been successful, and we can now see that token number 2 and 3 have been minted to our wallets. Everything looks good. We can continue to test the contract. I'm not going to go through every other function on the contract here. Most of them are pretty simple. If you want to reveal after everyone's minted, you go ahead and write, and that will just flip it from not revealed to revealed, and it will change the base URI from the not revealed URI to the post reveal, where all of your NFTs should be visible. We can also change some of the things like the price or the set per address limit, all that kind of stuff. We have the ability to change that after the contract is launched. I just always recommend that you do it ahead of time and get everything right from the start, because it will cost you less gas. And the next thing you're going to want to do is, once you are done with the pre-sale, what you're going to want to do is flip on the main sales. So we're going to come to number 3 here, flip sale state, and we're going to turn this on to true to turn on the main sale. Forgot we do need to turn off the pre-sale state, so let's go ahead and write that. Turn off pre-sale state, and we're going to turn off the whitelist state. So that was my bad. I forgot to tell you guys that. You probably should have done that first. Doesn't really matter on the order. Just make sure you've turned off pre-sale, you've turned off whitelist, and once those two are done, then you can flip on the main sale, or you can flip on main sale first, but it's not going to work until those other two are turned off. Okay, so we can just check our wallet here, and we can see the flip whitelist state and the flip pre-sale state are both completed without actually going to Etherscan on each of these transactions. And from here, we can come back down and do our mint. So at this point, whitelist is turned off, pre-sale is turned off, and main sale is turned on. So we should be able to mint without that Merkle proof. Yep, there we go. No error. So let's go ahead and confirm it. And let's view our transaction on Etherscan. And here we go. We can now see that we've minted during the main sale, and we've minted token number 4, test TT. Very good. So everything's working as it should. The final thing you're going to want to do is to withdraw these tokens, right? So at any point you want to withdraw, you can do that. We can come up to the top of the contract, and let me just refresh here. We have 0.1 Ethereum because we did that 0.05 test during the whitelist sale, and then we did a 0.05 during the main sale, and we didn't collect any funds during the reserve mint because those are basically like gift mints. So that's the total amount that we have in there. After refreshing, we're going to need to reconnect our wallet here, and we can come down here to do the withdraw and go ahead and write, confirm that transaction. And there we go, the withdrawal is complete. So if we refresh here, the contract balance should now be 0. There we go, it's 0 again. So that's essentially everything you guys are going to need to do to basic deployment and testing of the contract here on Rinkeby. Again, it's the exact same process for mainnet on Ethereum network. You want to just probably test it out a couple times and make sure everything looks good here. And then from there, you can switch over to mainnet and do the exact same process. Again, that's going to be pretty much everything for today's video. And in the second video, which will be a follow-up to this, I'll show you guys in Visual Studio Code how to create that actual Merkle proof root and how to get the proofs for the individual leafs for each address like you guys saw I have right here. But that's a basic overview of how to use this simple contract that we have available for free in the ABRAXAS DAO Discord server. Again, that's discord.gg/ABRAXAS, and it will be linked below. Thanks again for watching today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, please do tap on that thumbs up button. If you learned something, maybe share it with a friend or family member on social media. Sub to the channel, bell on to be notified as the future videos drop. Leave me a comment below, or if you want extra help, definitely join up the Discord and follow us on Twitter. Thank you guys again. We'll see you in the next video.